My girlfriend gave me an ultimatum, demanded I propose at her family's Christmas party, or we're done. I found out later it was a plan to humiliate me. When she said no, I agreed. At the party, I got down on one knee, pulled out a ring box, and asked her sister to be my realtor because I was moving out and needed a new place. The ultimatum hit on a Tuesday night. It smashed the quiet of our evening like a brick through a window. My girlfriend of 2 years, Laura, turned off the TV, stood in front of me, and crossed her arms. Her expression was unlike anything I'd seen, hard, cold, and determined. "We need to talk," she said. I sat up, worried. "Okay, what's wrong?" She gestured between us. "It's not moving forward. My friends are getting engaged, married. My parents keep asking. I'm 28, Alex. I'm not getting any younger." I'd always been honest with her about my timeline. Marriage was serious. While I loved her, there were things that made me hesitate. Her obsession with appearances, constant need for social media validation, how she sometimes spoke about friends behind their backs. I thought these were immature quirks we could fix. I was wrong. "Laura, we've talked about this," I said gently. "I'm just not ready right now. Maybe next year." "No," she cut in. "Not next year. My family's big Christmas Eve party is in 2 weeks. You're going to propose there in front of everyone. A grand gesture. If you can't, we're done. I'll pack the day after Christmas." I was stunned. An ultimatum is bad enough, but a public ultimatum at her family party? It felt less romantic and more like hostage negotiations. She wanted a spectacle. The house was mine, bought before we met. Finances were separate, but she lived comfortably. The thought of her packing should have scared me. Instead, it felt transactional. I tried to reason, to explain that forcing a proposal was the opposite of what either of us should want. But she wouldn't budge. Party or breakup. She went to bed angry. I was left on the couch spinning. 3 days later, the truth came from the most unlikely source, her older sister, Sarah. Unlike Laura, Sarah was quiet, pragmatic, and intolerant of drama. A hardworking real estate agent, she and I always understood Laura's difficult sides. She asked me to meet for coffee, sounding tense. She looked exhausted. Sarah confessed she'd struggled whether to tell me, but couldn't stay silent. The night before, at her parents' house, she overheard Laura talking loudly on the phone with her best friend Megan in her old bedroom. The door was ajar. Sarah heard every venomous word. Laura was laughing, bragging to Megan about the ultimatum. She was tired of waiting for me and had found someone else, a guy she'd been seeing casually for a month. Her plan was cruel. Force a public proposal so she could say no and humiliate me before her family, painting me as the clingy boyfriend she had to reject. It would be her grand exit, a story to tell for years as the desirable woman who broke a poor man's heart. Megan promised to have her camera ready. Sarah stirred her coffee, pained. "She wants to ruin you, Alex, just for a story." Something inside me shifted. The hurt didn't vanish. It crystallized into sharp clarity. I saw Laura for who she was, not who I hoped. The ultimatum wasn't desperation. It was a trap. I thanked Sarah. Calm settled over me. Laura wanted a spectacle? Fine. I'd give her one she'd never forget. That evening, I found Laura in the kitchen. I put on the best performance of my life, took her hands, looked in her eyes, and told her I'd been a fool. That she was right. Life was short, and I couldn't imagine it without her. "I'll do it," I said, voice full of fake emotion. "I'll propose at the party. You deserve that." Her face lit with a triumphant, predatory smile disguised as joy, the smile of a hunter watching prey walk into a snare. "Alex, I knew you'd see it my way," she chirped, hugging me. It felt like being embraced by a snake. The game was on. Update 1. The 2 weeks before Christmas Eve were surreal. Laura was insufferably smug, floating around dropping hints about rings and the surprise to friends. I played the nervous, devoted fiancé. Behind the scenes, I worked with precision. Hours online, securing a new apartment, signing a lease, arranging movers. I sorted through the house, separating my things, packed essentials into boxes, moved them to storage quietly. I met Sarah again, shared my plan, asked if she'd play a part. After a moment, she smiled. "Consider me on your team. She deserves this." Christmas Eve arrived. The party was exactly as Laura wanted. Lavish decorations, music, 50 guests drinking and laughing. Laura in a glittering red dress, holding court. She tapped her cheek to the floor each time she caught my eye, a mocking reminder. Her friend Megan hovered, phone ready. At 9 p.m., Laura gave me a sharp nod. Showtime. My heart pounded with cold adrenaline. I walked to the living room center near the Christmas tree, tapped a glass for attention. Silence fell. All eyes on me. Laura stood close, face a mask of fake anticipation. "Good evening, everyone," I began, clear and strong. "Thank you for welcoming me tonight. This year brought clarity. I've been thinking about my future and made a decision to secure my happiness and well-being." From the corner of my eye, I saw Megan raise her phone to record. Laura stepped forward, ready for her moment. I turned, letting my gaze slide past her to her sister Sarah by the fireplace. "To make this happen," I continued, "I'm going to need some professional help." I reached into my jacket pocket. The room held its breath, Laura's smug smile fixed. I got down on one knee as demanded, opened the box. Inside wasn't a diamond ring. It was a shiny new house key nestled on velvet. I looked at Sarah. "Sarah," I said, voice ringing, "I know this is unconventional, but will you do me the honor of being my realtor? I'm selling my house and need a new place immediately. I'm moving out." 5 seconds of stunned silence. You could hear a needle drop. Laura's face cycled through confusion, dawning realization, then white-hot fury. The smug mask shattered. Megan's phone still rolling, jaw dropped. Sarah stepped forward, warm smile, ignoring Laura. "Alex," she said steadily, "I'd be delighted to represent you. Let's find you a great new home and sell that house." The silence broke. Murmurs and gasps swept the room. Laura's father was bewildered, her mother horrified. Laura let out a sound between choke and scream. "What are you doing?" she hissed, rage trembling. I stood calmly, pocketing the box with the key. "I'm securing my future, like I said, a future without you." I looked around. "Sorry for the drama, everyone. I'll take my leave." I turned and walked out, leaving chaos and humiliation behind. It wasn't the Christmas party anyone expected, but for me it was the start of a better new year. Update 2. The storm hit immediately. My phone blew up before I reached my hotel. Dozens of missed calls, rage-filled texts turning to threats. I read a few, then blocked her. Nothing left to say. Next came her parents. Her mother Carol called next day, not yelling but with disappointed guilt. "Alex, I'm so disappointed in you," she began. "To humiliate Laura like that in our home, in front of family. A cruel, childish stunt." I refused the bait. "Carol," I said, calm and firm, "did Laura tell you why? About her plan to say no and embarrass me?" Her friend Megan waiting to film? Pause. She stammered. "Maybe she said things she didn't mean." "No," I replied. "She bragged. I was given an ultimatum that was a trap. I chose not to be a victim. I removed myself. My actions were a direct response to her cruelty. I'm sorry it happened here, but won't apologize for defending myself." She mumbled about me being heartless and hung up. Weeks passed. Sarah was a phenomenal realtor. We toured the house, signed paperwork to list it. Seeing her focus and professionalism, I knew I'd chosen right. Dealing with Laura's stuff was next. She left a lot behind. I sent a formal email via Sarah, giving her 3 weeks to arrange moving out professionally. She'd get no key. I or a rep would be present. Her response came from a lawyer, threatening to stop the sale. Claimed financial interest due to contributions and emotional investment. Demanded $50,000 for emotional distress and humiliation. I laughed. Sarah laughed harder. My name was on deed and mortgage, long before Laura. Her contributions minimal. Emotional investment was planning my public takedown. On Sarah's advice, I hired a lawyer. He sent a legal masterpiece, proving she had no claim. Detailed her small financial input versus cost of living. Denied emotional distress payment, calling humiliation a result of her own scheme. Letter warned that unremoved belongings after deadline would be disposed and she'd pay costs. Social media spun their story with vague posts of betrayal, but they forgot witnesses. The story of the house key in the ring box spread fast. Someone leaked Megan's video showing Laura's face shift from smug to horrified. Her victim's story crumbled. She was exposed as the malicious planner of a failed plot. Final update. 4 months since that Christmas Eve, dust settled, my life reshaped better. Laura's legal threats vanished after lawyer reply. A week before deadline, she and her mother came with a moving truck. I stayed silent in the kitchen, said nothing. They worked quickly, fury barely hidden. Her mother's last words, "I hope you're happy." I just nodded. I was. The house sold within a month, multiple offers, well over asking, closing smooth. I wrote Sarah a commission check with a bonus. She tried to refuse. I insisted. "You didn't just sell my house," I said. "You had my back when it mattered. That's worth more than any commission." Our strange alliance grew into friendship. She's the family member I was meant to be close to. Laura's life spiraled. Public humiliation wrecked her credibility. The other guy she planned her new life with wanted nothing once drama broke. She moved back with her parents. Through Sarah, I hear she's miserable, bitter, blaming all but herself. A queen in a castle of her own making. As for me, I bought a new condo downtown, mine entirely, with my things, my memories. Freedom feels indescribable. No more arguments over appearances, social media pressure, or ultimatums. Just peace. Looking back, Laura's ultimatum was the best gift she gave. It revealed her true self and forced me to act. My revenge wasn't about hurting her. It was saving myself. I didn't just dodge a bullet. I disarmed the gunman and walked away unscathed. Her humiliation was justice. My life is better, quieter, more authentic, and that is a victory no one can take away.